Hey everyone, it's me, the Undead Viking. I'm coming to you today with a video that's, well, it's completely brand new. I mean, the subject matter of the video or the purpose of the video isn't exactly brand new, but my role in the thing I'm going to be talking to you about is completely brand new. Now, a lot of you have watched my channel for quite some time, and some of you may have just stumbled upon it fairly recently. I started doing these videos 10 or so years ago now, which, when I think about it, is like just absolutely insane. To think that I've just been doing this stuff for as long as I have been. But for those of you who watch the Alaboom stuff on Wednesdays, and for those of you who watched my Kickstarter previews that I've done, for those of you who just watch the old reviews I used to do and things like that, thank you so much. I've moved along on this trajectory through the tabletop hobby world, and I've definitely taken side paths and different directions and many different stages. The interesting thing right now that I'm going to be talking to you about, and I kind of meant to have this be a quick video and I'm already taking up more time than I thought I would, is the fact that a little less than a year ago I was approached by a friend of mine that I've met through the board game world. And he approached me and he said, I know you know a lot about role-playing games, which I thought was nice of him to say. And he said, I have this idea for a book for Dungeons and Dragons. And he asked me, do you think this is something that people would want? And I after he described his idea, I immediately was like, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think you definitely have a really good idea on that. And he said, okay, cool. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I gave him a few ideas, few tips or whatever. And about a week or so later, he contacted me again and he said, I'm going to need somebody to do some writing for this. And I can't think of anybody else that I want to do that other than you. And I was really honored. And so he gave me what he was looking for, and over the course of a few months, I worked with him a great deal, and I was actually able to contribute to a project, to a role-playing game project, and this is called The Wanderer's Guide. Now, you may have seen some ads for this, you may have seen some videos for this, or whatever, but if you know nothing about it, if you have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about here, The Wanderer's Guide is a campaign free-for-all source book for whatever sort of fantasy role-playing game you're playing. Doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons, doesn't have to be Pathfinder, doesn't have to be low fantasy gaming, doesn't have to be Dungeon Crawl Classics, it doesn't matter. Anything that you'd want to use this completely system-neutral book for, you can use it for. The premise behind this book that my friend approached me with, his name's Joe, who approached me, he wanted to have a high-quality book that would have amazing artwork within it, that would inspire a DM, a game creator, to want to live in that world that was created, and then also make those basically maps and like an atlas of this world that would be something that you could show to the players as well, and increase the immersion that they're having. And along the way, my friend Joe, he became really good friends with Andrew Bosley. And Andrew Bosley is a fantastic top-of-the-line artist that works within board games. Merchants of the Dark Road is something, like, if you want to Google up that, a really successful Kickstarter that he did the artwork on. Something that was just, just he does great work. And if you go to the link that'll be with this, you'll see the artwork that he's done for the Wanderer's Guide, and you'll see just how amazing it is. I mean, right now I'm going to probably fade away, and you're going to be able to look at like this amazing, just the overland map of like the world and all the little hidden treasures. If you take enough time to really look at it and stare at it, you can really see a lot of the really cool things. And I'm not going to show you a bunch of these images or anything like that. I'm going to show you a couple other things here really quickly. But the big thing about these is that for me, what I really liked was the fact that, like, and then as I started helping Joe with this project, he was like, what are some of the classic fantasy places, the classic like locations that are important? And we started going through all these different options and all these different possibilities. You know, the village that you stumble upon that's going to eventually have the problems of the monsters in the forest. You know, obviously the overland map, but you know, you're going to go visit a castle. What about that inn at the crossroads? Things like that are going to have these really, really cool looking maps that the players are going to be able to look at, and the dungeon master is going to be able to like kind of tell a story. And also, instead of just having the story be in people's heads, you can say, and by the way, this is what this looks like. And the really neat thing about the book is that all the pages are going to be able to be dry erase markers. So like if you have specific notes that you want to make for whatever spot on the map, you can do so. And then you, obviously, since it's dry erase, you can just erase those after you draw on them. The one thing I wanted to talk about as well and point out was the many different NPCs that are going to be available. And these NPCs are going to have plot and campaign hooks. And this is where a lot of my writing came in. And so for each NPC, you're going to have a handful of well thought out plot and campaign hooks that the DM is going to be able to take those, and they're going to be saying, oh, well, not only is this a city guard, but this is a city guard that can give a quest. And so when the players get to know that city guard, and you know the dungeon master, or you know the game master or the referee or whatever you want to call him, is going to be able to show that picture and just say, this is what he looks like. If you meet the dwarf priestess, he's going to be able to say, this is what she looks like. If you meet the mysterious mage, you're going to be able to say, this is what they look like. This is what the queen looks like, and so on and so forth. And I have found, especially now, since in this day and age right now where we can't really have, I can't have people sitting at my table. For the Roll20 games that I play right now, I, you know, find artwork to show to my players, you know, virtually, so I can kind of help them, you know, like grasp how things look like and what they're encountering, and it helps a great deal. And one of the nice things about this entire book that's coming out, we are actually making, I should say, the Wanderer's Guide people. I mean, like I said, I'm part of it, but I mean, I'm not like in the day-to-day aspect. But the like nice thing is that there's digital files for each and every piece of art that's going to be in there. So if you can't have people sit at your table right now, you can use them for virtual tabletop, and these will be able to be used for Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds and Astral and so on and so forth. You're going to be able to use these for those particular situations, as well as the NPCs. You'll have tokens for those, so you'll be able to put them on the map and what have you. There's also going to be some like remember the old color forms where you put the sticker down and pull it off and stuff like that. There's going to be those types of like, I can't remember what they're called exactly. It's not in front of me right now. But there's going to be like little tokens and little things that you'll be able to put on each map to like signify special things that you want to point out that are available and things like that. So you know, a lot of people are going to be saying, well, if it's all the same map over and over again, won't people get used to it? Well, no, it's highly modifiable and it's highly changeable because of the dry erase function, and also because of these tokens you're going to be able to place onto the maps to kind of show things off. I mean, and obviously, like there's a really basic pledge. If you click on the link to go to the Kickstarter, there's a very basic pledge where you can just get the book, but we they've created a lot of different things that they can add to it. Like, you know, there's a DM screen that you'll be able to use, and a lot of the writing that's going to be on the inside of the DM screen for like help in running campaigns, stuff like that stuff I've written. It's another thing that I've done. There's, you know, special dice, there's a special like collector's boxed edition with a bunch of added content, things like that. So there's lots of different pledge levels for depending upon what you're looking for and what you can use. You know, you're going to be able to dive into those as well. I guess, I mean, the big thing is that I've done a lot of things. I've worked for 2 different game publishers. I've helped create games and help get those games out there, and I take a lot of pride in the fact that there's a lot of people that have games on their table that I help, you know, game companies, you know, basically get those games created and get those things put out and set up, and I'm proud of those things. But you know, other than a few, like maybe like writing in some rule books or things like that, I haven't really had my hands in something before. And now this is something where, you know, I've got my hands in this. I you know, this is something that I will, you know, I can take credit for, and because I've been part of this is something that I've helped create from nothing into something, and I guess that means a lot to me, and it's really cool. And I guess my request is, if you're watching this and you've been a fan of the channel, please, if you've just started watching recently, or if you've been watching me for a long time, I would really appreciate it if you could just go check out the Kickstarter, click on the link, and if it's something, you know, I've never had any kind of I've never run a Kickstarter to like support my channel. I don't have a Patreon account. I don't have anything like that. So I'm not here with my hat and my hat in hand, as you will. But if you've ever thought about, hey, it'd be cool, you know, to support something that I've done, if you could take the time to go there, and if you think it's something that you think has some value and something you'd want to have, I would really appreciate it if you would consider backing The Wanderer's Guide on Kickstarter. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. This was meant for this to be like a quick little 5-minute video, and it turned into something a little bit longer than that, obviously. But you know, it goes without saying, I appreciate each and every one of you who take the time to watch this video and who has taken the time to watch all of my past work as well. It really means a lot to me. And you know, just watch the Kickstarter. I don't think I'll do another video to support this. I feel almost weirdly dirty doing this, you know, because you know, this, but you know what, I would be remiss if I didn't reach out to the people that subscribe to me and not point you in the direction of the things that I've done. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time, your support, and everything you've done in the past, in the present, and the future. And just as always, be the best version of you that you can possibly be, and take care of yourself. All right, bye-bye.